Hi everyone, this is Jayma Malmy. Thanks for joining me today. Today I am going to be doing this layout from the May Craft with Heart kit. I did this one in my last video, and if you'd like to check that out, I will link it below. I changed it up as always. I'm going to be changing this one up as well. I was so inspired by these photos that I actually just took today. My daughter did a little community performance for her dance class, and I got some really cute photos, so I thought they would work perfect with this Sweet Girl paper pack. And yeah, so I'm going to change it up a bit, as I always do, to fit my photos. So I'll speed it up, and I hope you enjoy. I'm going to start out by trimming my photos with my handy dandy Fiskars photo trimmer. This is available through Close to My Heart, and it's really handy and portable. I first collaged some of the photos in an app called PicCollage, which exports it as a high-resolution image that I can print just like I would any other photo. I'm going to trim or punch out all of the die cuts, and I've mentioned before that it leaves these little nubbies that I like to trim off, but if that doesn't bother you, then it's no big deal and you can leave those. Now, I didn't like all the green with these photos. I love that green. It's one of my favorite colors, chartreuse green. This is fern. But I wanted a softer look for my photos, so I pulled out the coordinating paper pack for Sweet Girl, and I tried some of the background papers to replace the green, and I tried several of the patterns from that pack, and ended up going with that floral one that you're now seeing here. So what I'm going to do is trim off all of the green from the background, but I'm saving that stitched part, and that's what I'm going to put in place of where that strip of floral is currently, because I wanted to have that stitching on there. So I'm adhering it just a little ways down to save a little bit of paper, putting it in my photo trimmer, measuring it to 12 inches, and then trimming it so that I know I have exactly 12 inches. And then I will cover where that strip was with the fern instead, and I've got that nice little stitching there. So it used up some paper from my stash, but gave this a completely different look. My daughter was helping me out with these layouts, so that's her little hands right there. So once I trim these both down to 12 inches, I am going to set these aside, and right here, after I lay that down, this all took me about 15 minutes, and then I'm coming back here the next day and spending another probably 45 minutes or so. So these two layouts took me a total of about an hour, maybe a little bit less. That doesn't include choosing photos, although choosing these photos was pretty simple because I knew what I wanted to work with for this. So since those 4x6s are all pretty similar, I decided to use flip-flaps for a couple of them so that only 2 of the photos are going to be showing. And then I'm slowing this down just a little bit so you can see how the flip-flaps work. So I'm sliding 2 photos in. One is right side up, one is back to back with it but upside down. I'm going to show you here in a second how you fold the top over like that. It has some sticky, so you can stick it down, and I stick it on the out, so there's a sticky. You would peel that off if you're actually going to place it on right now, which I'm not, because I place it on the outside of my page protector. And then you lift it up and you can see that other photo underneath, well, the 2 photos underneath. So you can add 2 more photos to your layout without having the layout actually change. So I love the flip-flaps. They're a super nice way to add more photos to your layout, and also include photos that are very similar like these ones, but you just can't bear to not include any of them. So the rest of this process, I am not showing the flip-flap put on because I don't have these in my page protector yet. But what I would do is just once I slide these pages into my scrapbook, into the page protectors, I would put the back sticky part of that flip-flop fold it down behind the photo, and stick it right over that 4x6 photo in the on the outside of the page protector. So it's super easy. All right, so I am just assembling the rest of the layout mostly as intended. I put all of the photos on the mats and set them down where they're supposed to go if I were following the guide. But I'm going to be changing it up a little bit. So the first thing I'm changing up is I'm adding a title. So this title is actually from the other Sweet Girl layout that that I already did, and so I will, like I said, link that below. So you can see how I didn't use the title on that, and I'm going to be using it here. So I'm just trying to figure out where exactly I want it, because the font matches that lovely in the bottom right, and I liked that, and I thought that having the second title up in the top left would be a nice complement to it. So I'm going to adhere these photos while I decide where to place that other layout or that other title in the meantime while I decide in my head. And the original layout shows this photo covering just a little bit of that L. So I was trying to decide if I do want to do that or move it up. And so I decided to move it down and cover a little bit of that L. And playing with the placement of these photos over on the left and the floral stickers also, because I want to keep in mind that I'm using that flip flap over on the right, and so I wanted to place the flowers so that the flip flap wasn't covering up a whole lot of it. I see now that there is a bug on the right side of the screen. There we go, now it's gone. Okay, so I am placing down those stickers, and I cut out all of the flower stickers so that I could place them where I wanted on the layout before actually sticking them down. So I just rough cut them out off of the sticker sheet, making sure I like everything. So at first I kind of placed them where they were supposed to go on the layout, and then I moved them around a little bit. And then I decided I did not like the white letters on that busy floral background. They just didn't stand out very well. I was just trying to decide what I wanted to do. So I very carefully peeled them up. They came up okay because I hadn't pushed them down super hard yet. And I wanted to change the color of them, and I decided to use watercolor pencils for this, along with a shimmer brush. So I have my watercolor pencils here and a water brush, and I'm going to be testing the peach and the pink to see which I liked better, just on kind of the scratch area of the sticker sheet. And then I'm taking my water brush and bringing it to the tip of the watercolor pencil to pick up a little bit of that color and spread it onto the stickers. And it worked pretty well. So you can add more or less intense color by just picking up more color from the colored pencils. They have a lot of pigment in them, and they're really nice. So I didn't squeeze a whole lot of water out of this water brush. I just kind of went with what came out on its own. And then I went over it a little bit a second time. And then I came in with a pink shimmer brush, and it added a little bit of more of a light pink and some beautiful shimmer. So since I used the peach, I didn't want the bright pink watercolor pencil, so I used the peach watercolor pencil, but I wanted a little bit more of a pinky tinge, and that shimmer brush did just the trick. So I think that this stands out a little bit better on this background. It still gets a little bit lost, but I'm okay with that. And then this time I used the this T-square ruler to make sure that my was straight. Now I am going to go through and add all of the floral stickers. I had thought that I wanted to move the flip flap over to the left, which is why I switched those floral stickers, because the floral sticker I've got there on the left now has a flower sticking out from the bottom as well as sort of covering the photo. So I thought if the flip flap is going to be going there, it'll cover up that top flower but not the bottom. And so that's why I switched that. I'm going to end up adding the flip flap back to the right side of the page. And so it will cover up a little bit of that floral, but that's okay because the leaves still stick out and you'll still see the flower when you lift the flip flap up, and it doesn't bother me too much. So just little things to keep in mind. And maybe, if I decide not to add the flip flap, it'll look perfect and just like this. So, yeah, just keep those kind of things in mind if you're going to be using a flip flap. So there were these little kind of words that came on the sticker sheet, and I placed those where I liked them. They're in different spots than intended. And there were a couple of little hearts. And then there's those little bugs that come with the kit. I decided not to use them. They didn't really go with this layout, so I just put them with the compliments pack that goes with this sticker sheet, which is right there, that goes with this collection. I was looking at the compliments pack, which is stickers and chipboard pieces, to see if I wanted to add anything, and I didn't. But I just left this in so you could see what the compliments look like. So I added those little bugs to the compliments so that they're there all together if I decide to use them on something else. And now I'm adding my bling because, I can't have a layout without bling. So I am adding the same bling as I did in the last layout, which is some sparkles, some silver glitter gems, the Heart Us Sequins, which are adhesive backed. I did not do any embellishing thread this time, and I didn't do any bitty sparkles, so this added the right amount of shine for me. So I'm just going to continue placing those around the page, and then I am going to add my journaling. And this is my favorite journaling pen, the LePen. I like it because it's black, but it's not a really dark black. It's almost like a charcoal. So it goes with these softer colors, as well as pages where you do have a dark black. So here are some close-ups. And I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, let me know. If you'd like to learn more about Close to My Heart's scrapbook subscription, I will leave a link below, as well as a link to all the supplies. Thanks so much for watching, and I'd love if you subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this, and I hope you have a wonderful day.